Okay, so I was just watching this United Nations General Assembly and Trump's speech and all the follow-up meetings that happened afterwards, and especially of interest the Ukraine conflict and all that, and the mainstream medias and the analysis they are putting out regarding the decisions made by Trump and I still feel that a lot of people still get Trump confused. So from all that is happening, whichever way you looked at it, even listening to Zelensky's speech, whichever way you look at it, Trump focus is that at the end of whichever direction that conflict goes, US comes on top. It's a win-win for US. Whether they keep fighting, it's a win. Whether they lose, there's peace, it's a win. So, irrespective of who wins, Russia wins, well, still a win. Ukraine wins. I don't even think there's anything like win on the both sides anyway, but it's still a win for the US. So, if peace happens in this conflict, Trump has already signed a mineral deal with Ukraine, which means the US wins. If the conflict continues, Trump has made sure that the US is not giving out weapons for free or donation, that these weapons are being bought and sent to, and then donated to Ukraine to use to defend itself, which means US wins. See? He even said it clearly, and he said, well, they could come buy our weapons and use it whichever way they choose to use it. I don't care. Just buy our weapons. So whichever way the conflict goes, Ukraine, and even the issue of sanctions against Russia, the only sanction that Trump is willing or will be willing to give or be willing to issue against Russia is only the one that will make EU, the entire EU nations, solely dependent on the US for energy, which is also another win. So even if they give a sanction, it's still the US wins. That's why politics is called the game of interest. You don't go into politics or geopolitical or diplomatic political and you are playing emotions. There is no emotions in it. You find your dimension and you play your interest only. So nobody's there doing, oh my God, oh, no emotion. And Trump is a businessman. So whichever way that conflict goes, beside, I heard ExxonMobil is making deals to go back to Russia. So whichever way that battle goes, US wins. So it's up to the other nations and the European nations that are involved to actually define what their interest is in this conflict and then choose the step that will benefit them. And then for Russia and Ukraine to also determine their interest in all these fighting on behalf of Europe. Nah, no, 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 no. That doesn't play out in politics. I have to determine exactly what the interest is for the Ukraine or for the Ukrainians, and then find a way around it to achieve that. And then the Russians also have to define what their interest is in the conflict and also find a way to achieve it. Where the interests align, they make peace, and where it doesn't align, they continue. They continue, but I'm just pointing out that it is important that every nation have leaders that are not that has a balance of emotional intelligence. So when your emotions is supposed to feed you informations and you make decisions on it, and you also know when you have to use your head and play the game right. Else, they go use to play football, and countries are being used to play football, except for I think Hungary or Orban and the Slovakia. I think those are the two nations that are beginning to understand the game a little bit, and they are now saying, okay, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Nope, 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 nope. You can't cross this line. No, you can't do this. No, 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 no. No, I see what's happening. I see this game. But the rest are just, gonna kill, gonna punch it. Wise up, oh. You know, wise up. Use your country. Cash out big time.